Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Today we're checking out Liverpool, the dance of Liverpool.
In the northwest of England. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting Liverpool. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't pass up
The
Liverpool.
dance.
Don't believe the stereotypes. Don't get turned off by what you see on TV or whatever. Because this city is actually really cool. From the architecture to the people to all the fun you can have here. It's a cool place. But the thing is, there are some don'ts tourists need to know when they come here. And of course, there's some don'ts that are more like do's when you do come here. Because you definitely should come here, all right? And I think...
Okay, yeah, I've never been to Liverpool. I would like to go. I've seen a few videos about it, and apparently the people are really friendly, and they don't really consider themselves English. Scouse, not English. Or not English, Scouse is like a popular saying, apparently. I'm a huge Beatles fan. They're my favorite music. They're my favorite art. So I definitely want to check out Liverpool. I don't really know much else about it, so I'm hoping this will tell me a few things would need to know when I visit there. Some shortcuts.
When you're looking to come here, one thing I got to tell you is if you're going to be taking the train in, okay, you're looking for trains to get here from whether you're coming from London or different parts of England, I want to tell you this. Don't get off at Liverpool Central and don't try to buy a ticket to Liverpool Central because the main train station here is actually Liverpool Lime Street. That's where you're going to get your ticket to, okay? That's what's very important for you to know because you just look for Liverpool Central, it's going to be a little hard to find those trains from London, all right?
Let's pull up a map. Liverpool map. Lime Station? Yeah, that is in the middle. Oh, it's right next to it. Okay. So the two train stations are very close to each other, but I guess Lime Station is the one that has more trains from London. And that's probably how I would do it. I think it would be cool to fly into London and then take a train up to Liverpool. Because you could see, I bet the train ride's really cool. You could see a lot of the countryside from the train. That would be nice.
Here is actually Liverpool Lime Street. That's where you're going to get your ticket to, okay? That's what's very important for you to know because you just look for Liverpool Central, it's going to be a little hard to find those trains from London, all right? So that's one don't I have for you. Another don't I have for you is, the Beatles are famous here, and I'll talk about that in a bit, but if you're a tourist and you're flying in here, do not tell the locals you're going to fly out of John Lennon Airport because the locals don't really call it that. They call it Speak, okay, because that's where it is located, and so that's more their name for the airport versus John Lennon Airport, okay? So just giving you a heads up for that. Now,
where's John Lennon Airport? I didn't know there was an airport named after John Lennon. Why would you not call it John Lennon Airport? Can I see it on a map? Liverpool John Lennon Airport. Oh, okay. I wonder what John Lennon would think of that.
Airport, okay? So just giving you a heads up for that. Now, another thing I think you need to know as a tourist when you come here to Liverpool, don't have a thin skin, okay? Because here, the people have a really good sense of humor and they like to have a fun time with people when they come here. You'll notice that the locals will talk to you and they'll give you nicknames. They might point out some of your tummy. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I haven't had so many good nicknames given to me about my huskiness, let's say, and it's been pretty funny, from everything from hey big fella to so many more little interesting ways to call me fat. It's been really funny, but you gotta have a thick skin when you come here because the humor. But the thing is, they don't mean it in a mean way. It's just a fun way how their humor is. So just be ready for that. Now, if you've ever heard of Liverpool, you've probably heard of their most famous exports, and that's the Beatles, right? And the thing is, don't pass up doing a Beatles tour when you're here, and you'll see there's a lot of Beatles stuff all over the place, from shops to museums to tours and things like that. And I would say this here, don't pass up doing the Magical Mystery Tour or one of the Beatles tours when you're here, because it's really cool because you get to see where they grew up, you get to see where they met, where they played. It's really kind of a cool thing to give you a nice background. And like the Magical Mystery Tour, it's like 2 hours long and you get a lot of history of the area and about the Beatles, which is kind of fun. And then when you end the tours or you're going out at night, the Cavern Club, where they actually, where they played 292 times, which it says all over the place, actually a cool little venue to go to. So don't pass up the Beatles stuff. Even if you're not a Beatles fan, you still will get your picture with the Fab Four, out in Pierhead, all right?
I've heard that the Cavern Club that's there now is not the original. That the original is now a parking lot down the street, but I think it's cool that they rebuilt it. I'm an audio engineer, and I would be very curious to hear the sound in there. Like, what does it sound like? Because there's an arch ceiling, and it's all brick. It doesn't seem like it would sound very good. But maybe it does. Maybe it did. I don't know. It worked for the Beatles. One thing that's not so great about being a big Beatles fan is being reminded of how mainstream they are. You know, I have my own little personal relationship with their music, and then I went to see Ringo Starr live one time, and it was great, but it just made me remember how totally mainstream they are, how popular they are. I mean, they're the most mainstream ever, in a way. And there's something about that that makes it feel less relatable or intimate. It's weird. Anyway.
So another thing I think you should know is don't call the people Liverpoolers. That's not the word from Liverpool, okay? You have Liverpudlians, right? Yes, you have Liverpudlians. But also you have what I prefer to call the people here, Scousers, okay? And Scousers are the people really from Liverpool, all right? And it's pretty fun when you meet the people, the locals that are here, because they are great. And I've talked to them before, and I'm sure I'll talk to them about them again later in the video. But honestly, just know the right way to call your local friends here. Now, the people are Scousers, right? But then there's one thing I think you need to make sure you eat here, and that is don't pass up a bowl of scouse. And if you're not sure what scouse is, it's a kind of
soup,
rich
right?
beef stew with vegetables in it. And then they put pickled cabbage on top, pickled purple cabbage on top. You got some bread with it. It's fantastic. And honestly, it's not sold a lot of places when you are here. But for me, the best place to go get it, which is a really great setting, is go to the Liverpool Cathedral. They actually have a restaurant inside of it during the day. You can go there. I had a Victoria sponge as well, by the way. But you can go there and actually eat the scouse while you're sitting there in the church. It's just a really cool thing. And I'll be honest with you, the cathedral there, it's a little scary. And having the scouse going down makes you feel a lot better and really appreciate the inside of the Liverpool Cathedral. And the thing is, I'm saying Liverpool Cathedral, but I need to distinguish something. Don't forget that there's actually two cathedrals here in Liverpool. You have the Gothic Liverpool Cathedral, that's the Anglican one, with a cemetery down below, and you're walking up to it, you're like, oh my goodness, and inside it's just enormous. I mean, it's so cool inside, from the stained glass. I mean, even the people working inside, the ministers, the pastors, the rectors, they were so friendly when we were in there, and the restaurant too. It was really cool, but the outside, you're like, ooh, this is a little scary. Like, coming here in the fall and the wind and the darkness,
I bet it is
I'd be a little
creepy.
scared. But it's beautiful inside. And then you have the Catholic Cathedral, which is the Metropolitan Cathedral of Liverpool, or they like to call it Paddy's Wigwam. And when you see it, you realize, oh, I see what you're talking about here. That's a relatively new cathedral that you could go and see. And they're both worth going to see and talking to people that work there. It's very helpful to learn more about the city. And what's cool, when you go visit them, you get to learn about more of the history of Liverpool. And
I want to go to the old one, the Gothic one. Cool. Do they have a menu for the cafe? The Wellsford Bistro. Full English breakfast, vegan breakfast, beans on toast. Wow. Beef and vegetable stew served with homemade bread and pickled cabbage. Heck yeah. Pretty good menu. Pretty extensive. Something for everybody, looks like.
don't be surprised if you get a little Irish vibe when you are here, because there was a number of Irish immigrants that came here during the potato famine and really populated the city. So you have a little bit of that influence and a little bit of that fun from Ireland here too. Now, another tip I have for you has to deal with football when you're here. And that is, don't forget to know if you're red or blue, because here you're red or blue, and red is Liverpool and blue is Everton, and they love their football teams here. Like, Liverpool is life, Everton is life. But what's cool is, actually, for a big city that has two rival teams together, the people aren't like mean to each other because they're from different teams. Like, I've been to countries where people, if you're wearing the wrong jersey, they're like, hey man, like, you should be wearing something else. Here, it's a lot more friendly competition than like dangerous competition, I'd say. And that's what's really cool, is that people are so chillaxed. It's so much fun. And that goes with the football matches as well. But don't forget, red or blue. Now, it doesn't matter if you're red or blue or green or purple or whatever. One thing I want you to know, don't be afraid to ask for assistance from the people here in Liverpool.
When was the last time they played? Okay, they played on October 21st, and Liverpool won 2-0. So Everton's the underdog, apparently, right now. Okay. I don't know who should I be, red or blue? I don't know.
Don't be afraid to ask for assistance from the people here in Liverpool, because honestly, the Scousers are super friendly and super helpful. And if you're looking lost, they might come up to you and go, hey mate, you all right? Hey mate, you lost? You know, and it's funny. I've never been called mate so many times in my life. Like, maybe when I was in Australia, but like, I hear quite a bit here. But the people are so friendly, and they want you to have a good time when you're here.
I love
and they'll ask you, oh, how long you been here for? How long you going to stay? Can I help you out? And I've had so many of our fans from Liverpool honking, but also giving us ideas and tips for coming here that you can't pass up the help from them, because they will help you no matter what. So whether it's a cop, whether it's a person in a news agency or at a bar, restaurant, museum, the churches, the cathedrals. The people are awesome here, so don't be afraid to ask for help. Now, I'm here outside the
Nice.
Baltic Market, and there's
Yeah, they sound so friendly. I might ask for help even if I don't need help, just for the interaction.
Now, I'm here outside the Baltic Market, and there's also a thing called the Baltic Triangle here. And what I want to touch about those is don't think you'll hear Lithuanian, Latvian, Estonian in the Baltic Triangle or at the Baltic Market. Basically, the Baltic Triangle, it's a place you go eat. That's where bars are, restaurants are. You know, we
Okay.
got all kinds of stuff here. I mean, this place is hopping at night, okay? So you have it for that. So it's not to enjoy Lithuanian and Estonian culture. It's here to eat and drink yourself silly. Another thing you need to know when you come here.
Yeah, I'm not going to go to Liverpool to get some Lithuanian culture. I'm not expecting that. I won't expect that. Walter, thanks for the tip.
Silly. Another don't you need to know when you come here is the fact that in Liverpool, don't be surprised if you kind of get lost on the accent, because Liverpool definitely has a distinct accent because you have people
Yeah.
that have come from all over that are here that's really influenced the way people speak. And so the accent is very distinct here in Liverpool. So sometimes you might have a hard time understanding some of your Scouser friends, but sometimes your Liverpudlian friends will be just fine. So it's not everybody, but as occasionally you might be like, wait, what did you say? Or you might need to concentrate a little bit more. But overall, it's not really a big problem. It's just something you might need to think about, because I know we have a lot of our viewers are not native English speakers, so it might be a little bit different than the BBC English you're used to hearing.
You know, Google Translate should really have a thing for accents. I guess you can select different accents, but can you translate between them? General United Kingdom English accent. Doesn't look like they have a Scouser option.
So now we're outside of Paddy's Wigwam, also known as the Catholic Cathedral here in Liverpool. And my next stone for you, I think is kind of an obvious one if you're ever traveling around, especially the north of England, is this. Don't wear your Manchester United jersey. Look, you may never walk alone when you're in Liverpool and you're a Reds fan, but if you wear a Manchester United jersey here, you will totally be alone, or might get a little bit of
That's
a heckling
hilarious.
along the way. So don't wear that when you're here. Even if you do fly to the airport, which is only like an hour away from here, it might give you some more options to fly into here aside from just Liverpool Airport. And another thing I don't think I need to mention, but I'm going to mention anyway.
When was the last time they played? Liverpool and Manchester. Oh, Manchester won. In July. Looks like they're playing again next month and in April. Yeah, 4-0 Manchester won the last time. There's even a Wikipedia page about their rivalry. 35 miles apart, so pretty close. Oh, it's not just the football teams. Economic and industrial competition.
If you wear a Manchester United jersey here, you will totally be alone, or might get a little bit of a heckling along the way. So don't wear that when you're here. Even if you do fly to the airport, which is only like an hour away from here, it might give you some more options to fly into here aside from just Liverpool Airport. And another thing I don't think I need to mention, but I'm going to mention anyway, is don't forget to be totally prepared for any type of weather when you're here.
Oh, that's good
Right
to know.
now, it is sunny as all get out, and the forecast says 85% chance of rain and cloudy. Yes, the weather here is completely unpredictable. We're near
look at
the
those
sea,
water currents.
so you never know when a storm might come up, some rain might pop
Yeah.
in, or the wind might blow, so you have a beautiful sunny day with just a touch of wind. And when you're here, one of the best parts of coming to Liverpool is just how walkable it is and how close all these sites are. I really got to tell you, don't forget to bring some good walking shoes, because you're going to walk, and walk.
I
When
love
you're coming
walking.
here, the Catholic
do it.
Cathedral, walking
Bring it
down to
on.
the Anglican Cathedral, walking around, the docks. I mean, there's so many places to go, but it's literally like place after place after place, and they have a good pedestrian area as well. So you're going to walk a lot. So don't forget some good walking shoes when you're coming here.
I'm getting excited about going to Liverpool. This is my kind of town. I love walking. I don't like driving. I like riding the train. I don't like driving.
And if you don't want to walk, it's okay. They have really good public transportation with the tube here and the buses, so it's not really an issue if you don't want to walk, but it's just so easy to get around on feet. You want to have good shoes for those feet. Now, when you're walking around, enjoying all these views, one thing you're going to notice, all the beautiful architecture around here, there's also a lot of statues, and don't be surprised if you really see a lot of statues.
That's
From
cool.
Super Lamb Banana to the Beatles all over the place to just random
I like
statues to
that.
Queen Victoria. There are so many statues here. I think this actually is the second most statues in England, okay, after London. So when you're going around,
Wow.
you'll see quite a few, and some are actually pretty fun. Some are more stoic, but yeah, I'm sure you'll get a few pictures of some statues while you're here.
I love that. It just shows how important art is to the community. I think that's so great. The world needs more statues.
Now, another don't I have for you, and I know I talked about Scousers, okay, the people from around here, but I think it's important to say this. Don't think that everybody that lives near Liverpool is a Scouser, okay? Because you have different areas, different parts, there's different names, so that's why you say Liverpudlian as the people from Liverpool, because Scousers are more specific in Liverpool, like proper, and then there's people that are outside of it too. But all together, they're Liverpudlian.
Okay, so all Scousers are Liverpudlians, but not all Liverpudlians are Scousers. Is that right? I think that's right.
Now, if you're going out to get a sandwich when you're here in Liverpool, don't be surprised if you hear the Liverpudlians say something like a barm for a sandwich, not a roll, not a bat. They like to call them barms, so
Barm?
just be aware of that. I mean, you can use any of them, but they're barms here, okay? Now, one of the things you have to do...
A barm? I've never heard that word. Barm. I mean, just when you think about inventing a word and you're like, barm's not taken, barm is taken. The Oxford Dictionary says barm is the froth on fermenting malt liquor. This says it's yeast. So I could see how they would get barm from yeast because there's yeast in bread and... Okay. Barm. Ham barm? Ham and cheese barm? Chicken salad barm?
Barms here, okay?
Barm.
Now, one of the things you have to do when you come here is don't miss out on going to the Royal Albert Docks. I mean, Royal Albert Docks and then Pierhead right next to it. I mean, it is just two really beautiful areas that I really think are just one kind of area, but the Royal Albert Docks, or just Albert Docks, is basically there's these buildings around, you know, they're old docks, and they built up restaurants and bars there. There's shops there. That's where you get the Magical Mystery Tour to go on the Beatles tour, starts there.
Nice.
And the thing is, there's museums there as well. The Tate's there, so you can go there and see the artwork there. That's fantastic. You have the International Slavery Museum, which I think is very powerful to go to. You've got the Merseyside Maritime Museum, which is right there together, and those are both free. I mean, you have so many cool things right there at the docks that you should really go. There's all kinds of little shops you want to grab a sandwich or a bar when you're walking around, or maybe get some of those fries drowned in gravy or curry sauce. I mean, you can get that when you're there. And then right next to that, you kind of just keep walking on. You get to Pierhead, and the Pierhead, it's just more, there's more museums there. You're going to see the Liverpool Museum, which is really cool to check out. And when you're walking around, you'll see the Three Graces, which are like the coolest like architecture you're going to see here. And you see the two birds on top of the...
This building on the left here, I feel like I've seen a lot in like Beatlesy stuff. When I think of Liverpool, that's the building I think of.
Probably the most important thing for tourists to do when they're on Pierhead is go look at pictures with or buy the statue of the Fab Four walking. Yeah, I mean, when you go there, you'll see tourists there, and don't be surprised there's somebody there that's actually playing Beatles music when you're there, because that's just the way it is. Because honestly, walking the waterfront, Albert Docks, Pierhead, I mean, that right there for me, that's where I fell in love with Liverpool. Because when I was going around, I actually met a bunch of locals when I was there, because the people, like I said, were so friendly. It's like, dang it, love the city. And why do people slag on it so much? This is a cool city. And the thing is, when you're talking to the people, some of them were actually, I met a few fans when I've been here. And it's so funny because the locals, I'll tell you this, don't be surprised the locals kind of give you a nickname. And I know, I talked about how they kind of, I learned a lot of new ways to be called fat in a funny way. But like, if you're Walters, you might be Walty. You'll see these little things that like showing your name, throw an I on the end, and just kind of make you feel kind of endeared into this community or accepted into the community here. And that's great. And that's what's great about Liverpool, because they bring everybody in, and it's really kind of a fun thing. Because honestly, outside of Australia, I haven't heard people say mate more than anywhere else. Like, hey mate, what are you doing? Mate, where are you going? Hey mate, what you gonna get for dinner tonight? I mean, it's just so much fun, and you're really gonna enjoy that when you're here. So don't worry if they change your name or maybe point out some fun things about your physical appearance or your accent. And the thing is, when you're going,
I think that's really interesting. I'm just putting this together. A lot of Beatles music is about love and understanding, acceptance, the human experience. And I feel like maybe that was inspired a bit or influenced by the Liverpool friendliness. Definitely see, I don't know if Liverpool was like this back in the 40s or whenever the Beatles were growing up, but it must have been. Or did the Beatles' influence on Liverpool cause that? I don't know. Chicken before the egg? I'm going to assume that Liverpool has always been like that, and that it influenced the Beatles' music. And then the Beatles' music in turn influenced it more. Maybe they're just like the music and the Liverpool attitude are just feeding each other. That's what I'm hoping. It sounds like a really wonderful place.
some fun things about your physical appearance or your accent.
I don't know how many times he's mentioned this in this video so far, but it sounds like people were making fun of Walter. I'm sorry, Walter. But at least you have a good attitude about it, and it sounds like they were just not too mean. Poor Walter.
Point out some fun things about your physical appearance or your accent. And the thing is, when you're going around, I really want to really stress this. Don't miss out on the museums when you come here, because there are so many around Liverpool, and it's not just at the docks and at Pierhead. No, I mean, yes, like I said, the International Slavery Museum, the Maritime Museum, Tate, Liverpool Museum, there's those that are there. Also, there's museums all around town, art galleries. You can go to the World Museum, the Walker Art Gallery. There's the Palm House or the Glass House. You can go to that. It's not really a museum. It's more of a greenhouse kind of thing. But there's all kinds of great museums to see around the city.
Cool.
Also, really great parks to go to as well if you're heading down south. There's a lot of really nice things to do here. So go out and don't skip with those museums. Don't just do, Albert Docks and Pierhead. Get out there and explore and take in the culture of the city. And what's cool is, don't worry about paying for all the museums, because a number of the museums here in the city are actually free that you can go into, or sites are free. Like, you can go into the cathedral or the other cathedral for free, which is really cool. So it can make it a affordable kind of stay when you come here. And I got to tell you this, don't expect coming to Liverpool to be expensive, because it actually is pretty much an affordable place to go, especially if you're going to compare it to a London trip. I'm spending a fraction of the money here in Liverpool and having a great time as I did when I was in London.
Cool.
And what's cool about that is, I got to tell you this, with those good prices, with those friendly people, don't forget to go out when you're here. Look, there's tons of bars, tons of pubs, tons of clubs, tons of music venues you can go and have a good time at. So definitely don't skip out on going out when you're here. Because I will say is, in the historic center, don't think it's lit up very well in the evening time, so you get a little kind of worried when you're walking around. You don't have to worry about your safety like they make it seem like on TV. It is a big city. You do need to pay attention, but don't think that people are going to, take your wallet while you're walking down the street, or take your hubcaps off your car while you're driving by. That stuff's overdone.
Does it have a bad reputation for crime? Gangs. Oh, there's gangs. Can't be as bad as Los Angeles.
And TV and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about that. Be smart. Be your usual tourist safety sense, but you don't have to freak out about things here. I'm serious. Don't pass up on doing some of the day trips, because you have this train here, like this subway system or the city train system that goes all over the place from Liverpool. If you want to go to the famous Chester, and look, it goes down to Chester. You can take it down there in about 45 minutes. You want to hit the beach, you go to New Brighton if you want to. And also it connects to, Blackpool, Southport. There's so many things you could do that you don't just have to stay in Liverpool. You can go out and explore more and use Liverpool as your base, because there's a lot of places you can stay here, which is really, really cool. So another day trip you can do, which is only like an hour north of here, which seems intuitive, is actually Southport. You can go up there. There's a nice little fun park you can go to when you're there, but really it's to go see the sea. Or you could go up to the Vegas of England and go up to Blackpool. Yeah, it's a little bit farther north up there too. There's a lot of really great day trips. You want to go over?
Oh, it does. That's a Vegas-y vibe already, just from these photos. What is that tower? Cool, Blackpool. I gotta check out Blackpool.
Thank you to all the Scousers that have been so wonderful to me. The Liverpudlians have given so many ideas, so many helpful tips. Les and Max, thank you so much. And Jimmy, I gotta appreciate you, my friend.
Jimmy.
Shebs, there's been so many people that have reached out. Amy, I'm knowing I'm forgetting people, but it's just been so wonderful to see all those Liverpudlians from all over the world that were so excited we were coming here. All right, have a great time. And I gotta catch my train now.
Yeah, wow. I was thinking of going to England and flying into London, being there for a few days, and then going to Liverpool. Maybe I'll just skip London, though. Go straight to Liverpool and make that my home base. Very cool. Walter makes Liverpool sound like a paradise. Wow, that really does clear things up for me as far as Liverpool goes, because the thing I'm most excited about that I learned in this video about Liverpool is that a lot of stuff is walkable, right, in the downtown area. There's a lot to see down there. I love that. The thing about London that I don't like is that it's just so far spread out, and you kind of gotta plan more, figure out what to visit in what area. And if you don't do that, then you're gonna waste a lot of time traveling around instead of actually being there. I feel like Liverpool's more manageable than London. Well, Walter, great video, very informative. Thank y'all for recommending. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later.